Good evening, namaste or adab. Welcome to our Meet the Author session. And today we have with us two very proficient professionals who collaborated and came up with this wonderful book, Being the Change in the Footsteps of Mahatma. This book is an anthology of 7 stories based on the work and lives of 14 people who chose to live in the remote jungles of central India. The book is authored by Ashutosh Salil and Barkha Mathur. Ashutosh is a serving bureaucrat, a Maharashtra cadre IAS officer who is also an alumnus of National Law School and Harvard Law School and is a Fulbright scholar. The book is co-authored by Barkha Mathur, who is an award-winning journalist from Nagpur. She has worked with leading news and media agencies for 3 decades and has covered the lives and work of the people whose stories appear in the book. So let's meet these dynamic personalities and know about them and their book. Welcome, Barkha ma'am. Welcome, Ashutosh.
Thank you
for this
Thank
lovely
you,
introduction.
Shweta. And thank you for having us here this evening.
It's completely our pleasure that you both are gracing our platform today and you are here to talk about such a wonderful book that you both have come up with. So we have lots and lots of questions to ask you, so many things to know more about you and the book. That how did it, happened? How did the thought, how did the idea, it came there in front of you both? So let's start with the first question. We are desperately waiting to listen to the stories and to the history from where the book started. So I want to ask
Ashutosh, he'll go first.
Sure, ma'am. So Ashutosh, I really want to know that what was the thought process that laid the foundation of this book?
Yeah, see, I've also written about it and talked about it before. I've always been inspired by people who have been selflessly doing things, which I think I may not be in a position or be able to do it, right? So I'm always attracted towards such individuals. And I search for them, I look for them, for my own curiosity. And somewhere to get inspired myself, and that's where no, this was always in my mind. If you are a civil servant in this country working in the field, which we do as an IS officer when we are posted in different districts, working in the field, we get an opportunity to meet many such people who work selflessly for the society, for the country. And this was when, no, and this was always there in the back of my mind subconsciously that what is it that drives these men and women to do what they've been doing for many, many years now. And I had a year, I went to US for my master's, and that is when I had some time, and I shot a mail to Barkha ma'am from there. I think January 2018, I think, or 19, I think January 2019, yeah. And I told her that this is what I want to do. Will she be interested in coming on board, and can we do this together? And I'm grateful to her, and I'm glad that Barkha ma'am came on board. See, first thought he's a like young man missing home, homesick. So he must be joking, right? And then but then I followed it up with some research, made a possible list of people who we could talk about and write about. And then he realized that maybe I'm not joking, and then that's how this idea came. It always been there at the back of my mind. I think that 1 year study leave gave me some time to think about it, and then reach out to Barkha ma'am, and and that's from where it took the shape. Ma'am can probably add more to it.
So he's right. I really thought that he's homesick because he had gone from Chandpur, and we had spoken. I had done his interview. He had done a very good project with the tribals. If you remember, 10 tribals had scaled Everest. If you had read about it was in 2018, and he was the brain behind that project. So I was covering that story for Times of India, and it was going all editions. And I interviewed him also, but we had not met. Then when I received the mail, it was in 2019, and I was looking at a year of elections. So actually, I thought that this is not going to happen. So let me just say yes. So because it will not materialize, I'll be busy with the election work. And when he returns, it will be out of his mind because he was to come in June, 6 months later. But
Okay.
when I replied to the mail, he said, okay, let's get on a call. He got on a call and he had already firmed up the entire thing. So he said, okay. And then I said, fine, fine. Everything was fine because I was again looking at the elections, because in general elections and Maharashtra elections were in the same year.
Right.
Then in June, he returned. He said, I'm back and let's get on a call. So I said, okay, fine. And he had everything lined up. I just had to play along with him, which I did.
Great.
And I quite enjoyed it. I'm very, very happy with the outcome. It turned out to be
Well,
a very
that's lovely. I think the book was already, destined to be there,
it was. Yeah,
and
true.
in the hands of readers, it was already there.
Yeah.
So, but yes, somewhere you paved the way for it, and then it all happened. So that is really commendable. That's great, Ashutosh. You didn't, leave it in the middle, and you just carried on the research and everything. So that was really great. Your
I
conviction is
couldn't
also.
have left Sweta in the middle because I had someone like no Barkha ji as co-author, right? She's so
Yeah,
tenacious. No,
absolutely.
honestly, no, I would. She gives me more credit than I deserve, but I think no, but for her constant support, like no, she's just been like family, absolutely like a family, and she's been behind. I was in Bombay, Mumbai Municipal Corporation, during COVID. So there was a time I was extremely stuck and very, very busy, but no, she'd keep the faith and say, no, it's okay. No, we'll sail through this. No, it's also, I think, wonderful partnership and a wonderful, this working relationship we did develop for this book. Largely, no, I would give credit to her. It's her tenacity which saw us through this entire thing.
No,
Well,
what
that's
happened was that the subject was such, and it was
yes.
easy actually. I mean, let's be fair. Putting the book together wasn't that tough. Finding time to work on it was tough,
Yeah,
especially for Ashutosh. He's a busy man, and he was constantly posted. He was in Mumbai. Where was the time? But he kept. I mean, he just did not let it go off. I mean, I would sometimes get dejected, and I would be scared, to even call him up. कि से चलो करें इसको थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ाए, because see, how is he supposed to find time for it? And so many times it would happen that he would decide that, okay, I will be in Nagpur, we will do this, and some work would come up. But I'm telling you, the book had its own destiny. It's come out. It has. You have to be in our place to know how it worked out and how it played out. It was so wonderful. So I think we
yeah,
can move ahead
that's
now. Let's go,
lovely.
please. Yeah.
That's beautiful to know the journey that the book, went through, and you both must have, went through a nice journey during, penning down this book. You came across so many people who are doing such an exemplary work in the, in whatever they are doing, the changes that they are, having there, that they are creating is a big thing.
Yeah.
Leaving a
So we.
life behind.
Huh.
Yes, ma'am,
So
please.
there were two people with one mind and one thought process.
Yes.
That is why it happened actually.
So, ma'am, your book, like this book has seven stories. So, can you please tell us, give us a little glimpse of the protagonists who are there in the book? A little brief about all of them.
Salil ji.
No, but come on, you can quickly do it,
Okay, okay.
fatafat, so that we don't
So
take their much
see,
of their
if we
time.
if we go through the seven stories, so we start with I think we start with Bandhu Dhotre. Ashutosh was the district collector in Chandrapur, where that guy belongs to. Bandhu Dhotre belongs to Chandrapur, and he's a kind of a green warrior. Very very stirring story. He has been protecting the environment. He conducted a big fight against the coal allotment and things like that. And Ashutosh has watched him at first hand, close quarters. Then the second story is Koles, who are in Melghat region, Amravati. And their story is very, very powerful because, they both professional, qualified doctors, MD with post-graduation. They went all the way into those interiors. They set up a hospital there and they started treating the tribals there. The third story is of Mohan Bhai and Devaji Tofa. They are both social workers. Devaji is a Sarpanch, Gram Panchayat ke, and Mohan Bhai is a social activist. So, going, and he's a Jamna Lal Bajaj awardee also. So, going to those interiors, educating and empowering people, teaching them their rights, and then bringing about that forest right issue and kind of governance by consensus. This was all they're doing. Then we have the Amtes, they don't need any introduction. They are the grandsons of Baba Amte, and they are the third generation. they are carrying on forward the legacy. Ashutosh also has a very good connect with them because he was posted in Chandrapur and they are just adjacent in Gadchiroli. Then we have Mateen Bhosle, which is the, I think amongst all the stories, it really touches your heart because see, all these people did it out of choice. Okay, that they left everything, their prosperity and everything, and they came to those interiors. Mateen Bhosle
Absolutely.
had a choice to walk out away from that poverty-stricken life that he had led, but he chose to come back, return, and serve his community. So it is a very, very powerful story. And what happened to him, etc., etc. If you read the story, you will know. Then we have Dr. Gogulwar, who are into women empowerment. They fought they set up these self-help groups in the tribal villages. They empowered the women over there, gender equality, prohibition, things like that, and child mortality. And of course, then we have the Satavs. The Satavs are so qualified, both husband and wife. They are postgraduates. One is a surgeon, one is an MD, and they come from very affluent families. Dr. Satav's family has got this dealership of, Kirloskar and all in Wardha. They are a very affluent family. He left all of it, and he set up a critical care hospital right in the middle of nowhere, in Dharani, which is a jungle. Absolutely, you will never expect such a equipped hospital to be there. So these are the stories. These are real time stories. Even as we speak, this work is going on. That is the power of these stories.
That's commendable. And ma'am, like bringing those stories, there must be a lot of research that has gone into it. So how did that happen?
You put this question to
Yeah,
Salil.
sure.
Ashutosh.
See, there two, three ways we approached it. First, obviously, there is basic research. All of us do look for net, find out the stories. But what was extremely important for us was to have conversation and have very, very the fact that we wanted this to be a very honest account of who they were, with all their failings and with all their. We didn't want to make a no heroes out of them. They are heroes, right? But then heroes also have some failings. So what was important was for them, for us, and for the people who we interviewed and wrote about, to have that kind of trust in us. And then that was the
Yes.
key. I think for some reason, all these people who we talked about, we all clicked. They had that faith in us that there's something which we're going to do, something nice about the entire project. So that's the reason. First thing was that everyone opened up to us. There was nothing for them to hide. So that it's like an entire life laid bare before you, and that was the main part of the book. It is their life. It's not that it's documented in books and it's documented in journals. It's people's life, and what else than them telling themselves their story. So no, we went and met all of them, both Barkha ma'am and me, except for one or two people who I couldn't go and meet in person. Barkha ma'am went and met them, and then there are multiple rounds of interaction which would happen, with them. So first you go meet them in person, then Barkha ma'am she went again to meet few more people because there are parts of story which you thought was missing, their links were not there,
Right.
and then multiple phone calls. Since these are the life stories, these are people's stories. Lots of this, a large part of this came from personal interaction with the people who we have written about, and there are parts which we had to look for, right? Because the studies, for example, when you write about Matin mostly, we talk about this particular community called Fanse Party, to which Matin belongs, because we also wanted to give some context of where he comes from and what does the community do, his background. So we also did some research, looked at some of the journals, a test report, talked to other people. So broadly, it was the personal interviews that we conducted, backed with some more research to look at the facts. We didn't want to go wrong. So with any
Absolutely.
fact. So and that was the reason why every single word both of us will go through. For example, if we wrote something about PHC, fortunately, because I am in the service, I could call the even current, say, district collector or the CEO Jila Parishad and say, okay, I think I'm writing this. I'm a little doubtful. Can you check if it's still the case? If the
Right.
electricity has not gone, if the doctor not going, because I didn't want to. We didn't want to put anything which was not factually correct. It didn't matter how much time it took. how many sources we had to look at to verify. So that was something we're very, very clear about. Wherever they were writing facts, we had to make sure that those facts were absolutely correct. And so that's how basically we did this.
See,
No, because it's life story, it was in that term easy research. Just talking to people and them being honest to us and opening up their lives to
exactly.
us.
So what he said, his concept of the book was that let's not go into the work that they are doing and the impact of that work, malnutrition,
Right.
death, child mortality, and all. Let's not get into the nitty gritty. These are stories of their personal struggles. So the only way to do it is to hear them out. So that is what we did,
Yes.
And wherever the fact finding was required, we did that. I mean, he had all the resources with him for that.
So was it easy to extract out the complete information, like in front of a journalist and a bureaucrat? Was it,
I'll
comfortable
answer
for
this
them to?
first. Journalists, they are used to. But a bureaucrat sitting there
Yeah.
and listening to them, I wish you were there. They just open. I used to be amazed, ki what all are they telling him? What all are they all talking? And it was just basically it was between him and them. I mean, they really, really opened up to him because he's a guy who's he's in a position. He's if he gets to hear what their problems are, maybe he can help them. He can take
Right.
it a step forward. With me, they'll rant, कि ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, etc. But he's the man of the moment over there for them, na? So that's
So they
what
Also,
had
I
a
think
lot
the
of hopes.
equation, Shweta, also, I think, yeah, I mean, that may be one part, but I think, no, if you ask me honestly, I think, no, probably what is also important is sincerity of purpose, right? I mean,
Yeah.
why were we doing this? We had nothing in the sense, no personal interest, right? We're just trying to help them by telling their stories to the world because we thought
Right.
those stories were important. So I think when you approach people with this place of like, faith, trust, goodness, no, most of the people appreciate that. They see that, right? We're not going there to, gain something for ourselves. That was like, we'll do the story. We wanted these stories to come out, and I think people appreciate that, and that's why people probably wanted us to tell the story. There are times, there are certain parts where we've been critical of these people, and because that was always the idea that we'll be honest about it. And they were
Right. Right.
absolutely all right. There's sometimes, I've called Barkha ma'am and said, "Are you sure? Like, they're okay with this part going?" And like we would, and ma'am will call and cross check because I was not very sure, right? And they would say, "Yes, we're absolutely sure. Please go ahead." So I think this was just the trust. They knew that, like, they were safe in our hand, and our aim was not to do anything hanky panky, just put an honest account of people and their work before the world. And so I think that was also a factor, why they opened up to us.
Right. Right.
The belief that they had faith in us.
Yeah, that's very important. The trust and the belief is very important to, pour your heart out in front of obviously you both were strangers for them at that time.
Strangers, absolutely,
no, I don't think
absolutely.
so.
Like I wouldn't be
No,
comfortable.
no, we were not strangers. Both of them had been associated with them in by way of our work. He as
Okay.
the collector and CEO and everything, and myself, they knew us. And I had
Right.
previously also for the newspaper, I had written, they were getting these Padma Awards and things like that. So
Right. Right.
both of us were in touch with them. So that is why
Okay.
maybe they found this idea very novel, that both of
Yeah.
us are coming together. And we also came with a certain degree of credibility with us, because of the kind of work we have done.
Yes. Yes. That's true. So, ma'am, you listen to so many stories, like the people, they went through so many things during their lifetime. So, did it make any impact on your life as well?
Of course, so much. Like you are asking about the book, I mean, if
Yeah.
everybody asks us about the book, most of the time, what I want to tell people is that so many times we use their quotes, to tell what we
Right.
are doing. So, like Smita Kole, when she was talking to both of us, she said कि हम हर चीज में सक्सेसफुल इसलिए होते हैं क्योंकि हमारा पर्पस ऑनेस्ट है, क्योंकि हम सच्चाई
जी.
से उसको हमको अपने लिए कुछ नहीं चाहिए. एंड देन
True.
दे कीप टेलिंग के आप अच्छा काम करिए तो उसका रिजल्ट अच्छा होता है, उसका नतीजा अच्छा होता है. Then we learn perseverance from them. We learn commitment from them. We get a certain sense of sacrifice for them. And basically, the entire process, I mean, when we look at their lives, it's very humbling, Very, very humbling. Whatever we may say, we are sitting and, tom-tomming ourselves, but the glow is actually of their work. If the book is doing well, it is because of the nobility of that work. I personally feel that.
That's true, absolutely true, ma'am. And I really want to know, like, you've been a journalist, and penning down something for the newspaper and
Hmm.
writing a book. How different is
Hmm.
it? Like, you gave each and every detail there in the book, and in newspaper, somewhere we are restricted.
I was
We
not
limit
equipped to do
us.
it. I was not equipped to do it, but Ashutosh has this sense of, fact and detailing, and everything should be very above board. He taught me how to do it. The truth is this. I just write 400, 500 word reports, but he put me through that discipline of the whole thing, that it has to be fact checked, it has to be constructed in this particular manner, that time. And the best part of removing the self from the writing. All that I
Right.
learned from
Ashutosh, you want to say something about it?
smiling.
She's just being very generous, which I like. No, she's not very generous all the time.
And
If
Ashutosh,
Barkha gives compliment, I should take it.
I really want to know from you as well that what impact has this book made on your life? What has changed in your life as a person or as a human being or as a bureaucrat as well?
I don't know. See, difficult to Shweta, to be very honest, quantify or say that no, you wrote a book and your life has changed. I mean, I won't make such claim. But some things happen to you, right? Subconsciously, you don't even know that you've changed as a person and you've changed. So
Yeah,
I would want to believe that no, I have been, maybe I'm more sensitive. I would want to believe that I'm a sensitive person any which way. But like knowing them, not talking to them, now we're in touch with them, still in touch with them. Meet them, talk to them occasionally. I think it just keeps you rooted and it keeps you humble and it keeps you inspired, because not they are part of our life, right? This book will stay with
right,
us
right,
all our life. So and I'm glad that such important people are part of our life. So wherever, whichever part I am, there, not there, these people will keep coming to me through their work, through their commitment, through their selflessness, and I think that in itself is a huge, I would say, gain for me as an individual. In moments of, say, when you're looking for inspiration, no, I just have to go to them. No, I know them, and I just have to, like, if these guys with so much challenges can do it and like not be bitter and be still happy and be committed. No, there's absolutely no reason someone like me shouldn't be, all pumped up and do what I'm supposed to do. So I guess, yeah, I think this, a part of this helps you subconsciously. You don't realize now how these people touch your life, how their values touch your life, and how it impacts you. But I'm sure it has, no, it will manifest in the way I work, or no, my own commitment to the work I do.
somewhere
See,
it
now
will
you know
keep.
now my answer. Now you can relate my answer to it now. So he brings that perspective to the book.
So it will
What do you
keep us motivated. It will keep us also going on.
if you read the
Yeah,
book?
these are
That's
like timeless values, right? I mean, Shweta, if you look
Yeah.
at the people and the values these people represent, right? They are not like momentary, that they're only relevant for this month or this year or 2 years.
Yes.
No, these values have been relevant in the past. They are relevant now, and they'll continue to be relevant for years to come. So, in that sense, I think it's a timeless, book. It doesn't matter who picks up, where he or she picks up, which part of the country. The values these people represent, they are, absolutely timeless values. So they will continue to, inspire, motivate us. I'm sure many of us for years.
That's true. And you have seen all their stories, you have seen their struggles. So, is there any common lapse in the system which you have found through all these stories?
You okay, asking me? Yeah, labs. I don't know. See, system is huge, humongous, right? It's a huge country, a very complex country, and no, we have lots of issues. So I won't say no labs in the sense very difficult to identify, but obviously there are gaps in the system. No, be it health,
Yes.
education, no, everything is not great. No, so obviously there are gaps, and that's the reason why you have these excellent individuals, no, helping
Right.
states fulfill those some of these gaps in the space field of health, education, If there were no gaps, probably you wouldn't have not say AMTs, doctors there. So obviously there are gaps, and the best part is these individuals also work closely with the state. So they complement what state does. They're not trying to replace state, as Dr. Kole says very clearly right in the beginning. He says that no, this was something he decided that he's not going to replace something which is already happening, being done by the state. There's no point of doing that duplication of work. The point is to partner with state and supplement the state's effort. Because state's effort may not be absolutely stunning all the time. Because
Right.
of whatever multiple reasons. So obviously there are gaps, and those gaps are also being filled in some way by these individuals.
That's true. And these fighters, the real life heroes, they all had some different backgrounds. The background is different, like educational background is different, or you can say the social background is different for all of them. So, what was the thing that kept all of them, moving on, going on, the conviction to stick to the purpose that they were trying to serve? What was that common thing in all of them?
First of all, they are all Gandhians. They believe in Gandhi. So they bring those Gandhian values to their work, and their life.
Right,
And then that, that searing desire to do something for the society, which propels them, basically. If you see
right.
Bandhu's story, it's so poignant, His family
Yeah,
suffers because he does all that work. Matin Bhosle has, put his shirt on the on sale, just to help those Pardi children. So it's basically that burning desire to do something, to be the change. That is what propels them.
so, like in this world of urbanization, a lot, I think, a push and a lot of motivation is required to follow or to even observe the principles of Mahatma. So, do you really think that this generation, we can really push them towards all these things and they can get into all these things as well?
Salilji.
Okay. I mean, if you're asking me this question, I'm glad, you think of I'm of this generation, Barkha ma'am. But yes, young people, Shweta, yeah, I mean, for example, I've always been inspired by Gandhi, Mahatma, and also see why do I think people continue to keep getting inspired by him? Because he expressed himself so simply, so beautifully. Also, he led by
Right,
example, right? He's not the one who will only give gyan. People get annoyed when you only talk and you don't follow it up with the action. Mahatma
right,
was one person who did every single thing he said. And so for people like us and people who are younger to me also, they look for idols. They look for heroes and sheroes who do what they say. And I can't think of a better example than Mahatma in this country. Who every single thing he would say, he would first do it himself, and then expect people to do it. So I guess he'll continue to be relevant. People will continue to identify with him for years to come, and his importance, his values, whatever he believed in and talked and written about, he wrote extensively, he spoke extensively. They'll continue to inspire and guide us, all of us for years to come.
that's true, Ashutosh. And what are your expectations from the book?
We just want my expectation, personal expectation, and then we can talk about our expectation after Barkha ma'am has spoken. Personal expectation is that one expectation. I want this book to go everywhere, to the whole world. I want every possible person who can read this book to read this, for the simple sake that so that it inspires many more people to believe
Yeah,
in goodness, to believe that there are people in this time and age who could have been anywhere and doing well for themselves in conventional traditional sense of making comfortable money, being in a city, but they choose to live all of this because they believed in working for the fellow countrymen, and work passionately, work honestly. So I think these stories, if nothing, trigger many more such should trigger many more such commitment, and should encourage many more people to whoever he or she, because everyone's calling cannot be similar kind of work, right? But
Yeah,
people who are looking
absolutely.
for that kind of work, probably it gives them some idea into that there are people who are doing this kind of work and doing it well. So I don't want this book to travel as far as it can travel, go everywhere. That is what I want from the book.
Ditto
And
for
now
me.
our expectations.
I want every fame and every recognition to come to these people. I want the world to know what kind of work they are doing. I want the world to understand what it takes to be like them. And I wish many, many more people, such people in the society, so sacrificing. If anybody is even able to pick up one virtue that these people possess, they may be having failings also, but as far as the work goes, I'm in that sense that what drives them, I want people to have that drive. I want people to learn about them. That is my desire.
Well, that's beautiful. The goodness which is there in all the protagonists, their stories, it is showing
Yes.
in your writings and your expectations as well. So somewhere, Ashutosh, I think that thing, subconsciously, as you mentioned, that has impacted your life also. So that thing is traveling from you to others as well, from our authors here to our audience, to our listeners as well. So it's going on
We
and on
hope
from
so.
one channel to
We
another.
hope so.
Thank
We
you.
sincerely hope it happens. Very happy if that happens.
It will surely. And can we expect the next book to be, launched very soon?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I think, as you all said, maybe it was destined. So, let's see how it happens. Which, as of now, there's nothing we have in mind. Very, very happy to work with Barkhaji, collaborate maybe on something else. But there's nothing that we have planned as of now. Also, I'm full time government employee, so I have to also find that kind of time to be able to do something. So, but yeah, why not? I write occasionally for magazines, but yeah, if something interesting comes up, happy to write again.
Well, that's lovely. Welcome, you want to say something about it?
Yeah, I'm working on a story. Let's see how it shapes up. It's again a life
Well,
story
that's
of
good.
somebody who's here, right here. So let's see how it shapes up. Yeah, it's too soon to talk about it actually.
Sure, sure. We'll wait for that, ma'am, very soon. And Ashutosh will
Please.
wait for your book as well. And we wish you all, both of you, very good luck for this book and the coming, the endeavors, the future endeavors as well. And we really wish that this book reach more and more people so that more and more people get inspired, get motivated, and they also imbibe all these virtues in their life somewhere or the other. So thank you so much for sparing this time for us and talking to us, letting us know about the book, about the goodness that it carries. It was a wonderful conversation that we had today with both of you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
that.
much.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much,
having
Shweta.
us.
It was such a
Thanks.
pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks.
Same here, and thanks to our audience also for joining us.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
stay
absolutely. A
happy,
big thanks to them.
stay healthy, and take good care of yourself. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.